In more news on the terrorist front, Defense Secretary Hagel recently expressed satisfaction at the pace and the success of the U.S.-led campaign against ISIS in Iraq and Syria. But the shocking brutality of the terrorist group shows no signs of letting up, as evidenced by propaganda videos released overnight showcasing the organization's stronghold throughout much of Iraq and Syria.
Despite having American weaponry and armor at their disposal, the Safawids were scared to meet death and did not have the nerve to continue the fight.
ISIS propaganda. Captured Iraqi soldiers are rounded up in vehicles in these videos, forced to dig their own mass graves, executed then at point-blank range. Another video shows the violent battle for the Syrian city of Kobani that we've been covering for so long, using a drone to highlight where suicide attacks were carried out. In other disturbing images, ISIS terrorists can be seen throwing a man accused of being gay off the top of a building and then stoning him to death. ISIS tactics are considered so extreme they evoked revulsion from, of all places, an al-Qaeda affiliate. A top leader of al-Qaeda in Yemen, which just slaughtered American hostage Luke Summers, held a press conference in which he described these beheadings and other acts as barbaric. He accused ISIS of driving a wedge between jihadi factions. Daveed Gartenstein-Ross is a senior fellow with the Foundation for Defense of Democracies and joins me live. Daveed, al-Qaeda in Yemen is a savage group. They released a hostage video of Luke Summers. They killed Luke Summers, we're told, during that rescue attempt. How can they attempt to take a high road with ISIS?
They're taking a high road not so much because they're good guys, obviously, but rather for strategic reasons. Al-Qaeda had a very bad experience, actually, from ISIS's predecessor, Al-Qaeda in Iraq, which was known for its beheadings, known for its overt brutality, and that ended up creating, among other things, a massive uprising against it, and it diminished Al-Qaeda's brand worldwide. For strategic reasons, they don't want to engage in the overt savagery that ISIS does, although they have no problem with engaging in savagery.
And it's also overt savagery against Muslims that they really have the issue with, right? Not overt savagery against Jews or Christians.
Yeah, again, it's a little bit of a complex issue in that way, because they do engage in overt savagery against other Muslims.
Right.
But even, for example, ISIS's attack on the Yazidis, it didn't serve any strategic purpose. The Yazidis are not only non-Muslim, they're not even going to be considered dhimmis, people who could have a pact to continue practicing their own faith under Islamic law. But ISIS decided to engage in a genocidal campaign against this group that posed no military threat to them. Al-Qaeda probably wouldn't have made the same decision, in part because they're not as obsessed with carrying out and showing their ability to inflict massive pain on a population right now. Instead, they have a bit of a longer-term game than ISIS does.
ISIS keeps releasing these propaganda videos. What are U.S. intelligence officials gaining from them, if anything?
Well, for one thing, faces, voice recognition. They've shown a number of the same figures repeatedly. In some cases, they've shown their faces, and this is helpful. Secondly, their location can be pinpointed from these videos. And then third, looking at the narrative arc that they're putting forward, they're constantly releasing things. They clearly have very good media capabilities, something that other terrorist groups are going to try to mirror. These are all things that the United States can glean in looking at the videos.
And Daveed, in one of the videos, ISIS terrorists are forcing shop owners in Mosul, Iraq, to shut down their stores, head to prayers. Is that evidence at all of ISIS starting to win hearts and minds, or are these Iraqis just doing what they need to do so they don't get killed?
Look, it's always difficult to say from a propaganda video, and particularly when you have totalitarian rule such as ISIS is. I think, though, that aside from the video, we can see that increasing pockets of resistance are forming against ISIS in places like Mosul and Fallujah. It's not like the awakening 06 to 07. They don't have a major sponsor, so they're not a major strategic threat right now, but they're certainly a big thorn in their side.